For many years, South Sudan has struggled with one of the longest and most painful conflicts in Africa, a conflict between two great communities, the Nuer and the Dinka. This story is not only about fighting, it is about history, culture, leadership, betrayal, survival, and the hope for peace. In this documentary, we take you back in time. We look at how this conflict began, how it grew, how politicians made it worse, and what ordinary people suffered. And today, we look at whether peace is still possible. Welcome to Changfied, and this is the true story of the Nuer Dinka conflict. Please, before we proceed with this documentary, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any our update. The Nuer and Dinka are two of the largest Nilotic communities in South Sudan. They have lived side by side for centuries. They share cattle culture, initiation, tradition, and river-based livelihood. But they also competed for grazing land, water, and cattle. Before colonial time, most conflicts were small and local raid, misunderstanding, sometimes leadership quarrels. These conflicts were not full-scale war. They were resolved through chief, elder, and local agreement. The Nuer and Dinka live like neighbors with disagreement, not enemies with hatred. The hatred we see today was manufactured later. When the British arrived, everything changed. Colonial rule divided communities, created borders, and empowered certain chiefs while weakening others. Some communities were allowed guns while others were disarmed. This imbalance created early anger and suspicion. The colonial government also used a strategy called indirect rule, which sometimes favor one group over another, especially in areas like Upper Nile, Jonglei, and Barghazal. Division was introduced, and division later became the seed for bigger conflict. When the Second Sudanese Civil War started in 1983, the SPLM was formed. It was meant to unite South Sudanese against Khartoum. But inside the government, disagreement quickly appeared. Differences in strategy, differences in leadership, differences in ideology. In 1991, a major split happened between Dr. Riek Machar and Dr. John Garang Mabur. This became one of the darkest turning points. The 1991 split is often used as the beginning of the Nuer Dinka hatred, but is not accurate. The truth is, it was a political disagreement that turned into a tribal because leaders failed to control army and emotion. The worst part was the Boer massacre, a tragedy that created wounds that remain today. But the world forgets something important. Thousands of Nuer civilians were also killed afterward in revenge attack. Both sides suffered. Both communities buried their people. But the political leader eventually reconciled, while the communities were left with the trauma. In 2005, the Comprehensive Peace Agreement was signed. South Sudan celebrated, but behind the celebration, mistrust was still there. The government was formed with Nuer and Dinka leaders inside it, but power distribution, tribal favoritism, and military differences made things unstable. The army were not unified, the communities were not healed, and corruption grew. Peace was signed, but peace was not practiced. By 2013, the political relationship between President Salva Kiir Mayardit and Vice President Dr. Riek Machar was collapsing. Cabinet was dissolved, tension grew inside Juba, the army was divided, tribal speeches were spreading. Then December 2013 came, the night everything fell apart. Soldiers start targeting Nuer civilians in Juba. Men were rounded up. Women and children fled into enemy's compound. Thousands were killed. The killing of Nuer civilian triggered a nationwide rebellion. The Nuer army mobilized. The SPLMIO was formed. South Sudan entered the Dead Lies War since its independence. The Dinka community also suffered heavy casualties in retaliatory attack. Villages were burned, families displaced, and hatred grew deeper. Politicians signed agreement, broke them, returned to war, while civilians suffered endlessly. This conflict destroyed families from both sides. More than 400,000 people died. Millions displaced to Ethiopia, Uganda, Kenya, Sudan. Child soldiers recruited, women and girls abused. Cattle raiding increased, food insecurity worsened. This was not a Nuer Dinka war. This was a politician war fought on the bodies of their own people. Ordinary Nuer and ordinary Dinka wanted peace, but the elite made decisions that pushed communities further apart. Several peace agreements were signed. 2015 agreement, 2018 revitalized agreement, 2022 security arrangement, countless local peace conferences. Some brought temporary calm, others collapsed before implementation. Key reasons for failure included lack of trust between leaders, failure to unify the army, politicians using tribal loyalties as weapons, external pressure and interest, competition for power and OER resources. But still, peace efforts continue today, with communities trying to rebuild relationship. Today, South Sudan is quieter than the day of full war, but not fully healed. There are intercommunal fight, cattle raiding, political competition, a slow implementation of peace agreement, poor economy in the country, lack of accountability for past crime. Many Nuer and Dinka youth still grow up hearing war stories, but there are things to remember. There are things that they don't like, and there are things also that are positive signs. Mixed marriage increasing, community peace dialogues, elder pushing unity, young people using social media to call for peace. Both communities realizing politicians use them for power. The new generation no longer want war, they want peace. Yes, peace is possible, but peace requires telling the truth about what happened, accepting that all communities suffered, stopping politicians from using tribe as a weapon, teaching children a new story, respecting each other, land and identity, strong justice and accountability, a unified national army, leader who put people first. The Nuer and Dinka can live together because they lived together before. History shows they can forgive. History shows they can rebuild. Peace is not a dream. Peace is a decision. This conflict is not our identity. We are not born enemies. We were divided by politicians, by power, and by history that was not handled properly. The Nuer and Dinka people are stronger together than apart. Their future depends on peace, truth, and leadership that respect all communities. This has been Changfied telling the real story of our people. If you are new to Changfied YouTube channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so whenever we upload a new video, you can be notified. Raine katin kon tilat korodian ka kwi kore kon e chitwok. Ka jen documentary na me bantin diala konde kon kaling bana kaling. Jawni ambana kwen gwase me. Bala kwi Nuer kana jang Nuer and Dinka. Nuer and Dinka akan naitin wana kan Raiwika South Sudan, akan the largest Nilotic communities in South Sudan. No wala shinkan kel, jelka kel, letken yinken kel. Kukan dong wan kukan ngechir kel a wena ka culture in. Tikan di alcohol tikan ka kwak. They live side by side. Lo share kan wane kel mishang. Guardian, a winaka biridian, tung wan ku kan ga share along. Tell me kan she can share together. Kan bo, shen kan New Year gwada dan ticketin. Kan ba, la jikan gwasa dan la kan hoken la kan ka wiya jaka bukan juaj bukan ka we chamten. La toga no kan bala ga ka kam niken, but chette ka micho da blat ka gwase dan. Me shi burinti de shi ben are wika South Sudan. Me shi burinti me shi ka arrive ke shi ka shop. Shu kana goro bikan community ni bikan ka dak. Jo te ka tan do ritu moike ka mech ka palga dor do dien. Jo termo jo tuo ko lo mi cha jang mi ka mech bikan wer bikan ka ona ke cha no ya mi ka mech bikan jang bikan ka ona. Na mo shu ditin alo shu ben burinti jira wika South Sudan jo la deng mi dit ka shu tar shu ka no. So mi chit kana mo amila rode. Mishit kana mo shu togre dwarin. But gwate dana shirek ki toktin along. Adara shwal ka me a panel kam jana kana nwere. Kay jongley. Kay bargazal. Gwate ti kan gwate kono shu kor shu toktin. Me sha te ka roltung wan shu to kam miken shu kor wan shu tok. No. Ka 1983 shu te ka civil war ki kon shu to kam SPLM karwade. Ana mo shu deng di shu tok. Kam Dr. Machar, kene Dr. John Garen Mabir. Jo take a disagreement to one. Kadwa badana de na right keje. Ke certain content bere wonne ken. Katin konen cha piedre charken. Ti diality shu kan kuma shu kan dak. Shu ko to ka 1991. Jo daga mo chu to kam Dr. Machar kene Dr. John Garen Mabir. Shu rudi split ke shu rudi dak. Chu ram jal ka jala. Eno. 1991 mo ci jangalar no kan shakanak long anware gwade ci korme ja tokten but chalado this is not accurate a watch it talk but cha number charge exaggerated ko gwade dan me te gador wajel gan kel but me ci korme ja tok ci te ka ter wani churi lat kamiken so na mo chu jang chu kan wari kan ga loga je kan shakanak anware ke shakanak gwade dan ci korje tokten awa jen tuko bin warbo rodian lak buga rodian lokka 1991 nuwer ono buga taka daka jang awa chu nyira mo chu tere jani ka kor gwamno bar no ke 2013 chu kor mo chu matok gwaze chan wera abnaktin ke 2013 me chanel chu ka 400,000 tela so Sudanese kan dia tere jang radian kan nuwari tikatin dindo chan wera chu ke 40,000 cha kan nagre wi ka juba karwade gwade shaka masikatin a jang me gore ka dole na mo shule ne to bo gwase dan ana mo chola ga kam kirma yadit kana dakring machar gaga mo gang mu to kake kan dangro are gaga mo no shuliam de to ke 2013 me ci korme ce to chu dakring machar churo da wo chere we ci ka juba na wena mo shuliam de to kana te konte ci dore ke juba telanware and kore ci tuok show we South Sudan kele chu dak nika 2013 benaka jen 2025 chu kore mo show ngoten chu manatama chu ne 400,000 chu ko liu reida and kore mo kam kirma yadit kana Dr. Riek Machar me ter ka kore mo ka je kirma yadit jani chi me shit ka me 1991 chero da buluch ko ci Dr. Machar la da no ne ba kuin kware ba jalat ba national election ba jala duno shikir shajalok me shikir lok chokir sho kor sho jatok sho Dr. Machar kene cabinet ne ka dial sho ka joch re kume namo sho ne dial ko ne charin wo chukane gujeno bikan right ka do badan dong de kuin kwade jalat keje ala national election and wenamo sho kir ma yadi sho jalok sho kor ye to ka sho Dr. Machar cho jo ra re wich jen do be dan sho kor jo to ga je chume no wale 2013 jen gwade dak President Salva Kiir yadi pintin kana Vice President Dr. Machar gwade chane Dr. Machar chaga ju kandial yo kor mo cho to ka chone tungwan ka wera mo changa wadi kan shamul bakal ka pai wero chane tungwan lang chwa kanak tilan were rewe ki ju bakar wade ka chu kor mo chu dakare wi ka South Sudan chu man walle ajena dan dak South Sudan gwaze me netin kontin belka ka kwar kan netin kontin ka power belke kirma yadit anwari belke Dr. Machar a jang janga ken Dr. Machar mu ko je demand no take a national election mu bala which mi na tetino no Dr. Machar no mu sha ko inquire charge la doni la democracy me there an kwere no ko de we de develop ki we de lat no jen dana no ke Nueri na mo Nueri election alat ke ba kwere dana gwa jen ba je kon janga no a charge la de mishir na mo ne loke Dr. Machar gui ken no Dr. Machar na ba mal ki ko inquiry ba jo kan ki be kire mayadit ba je jure kwara na mo mshura lat ko gwa sedan no and conflict me chene wan che kana native 400,000 people chiglu an gwa sedan me go ken na me ren mudi lon ki shi magwa so mshura lat ko gwa sedan na me ajen do dan en to kor ke je ban min bi anga je ne Nuer kana Dinka shi kan la jitaro ka kwar la jitar janimo kana Nuere ko mun no kana no de ka let ke dara gwalon wochi kirmi yadi chelogo no ba ko in kwara lat ka da ruma char ba ko in kwara ba jelat ka janda na gorka ba ne diare wika South Sudan no ko in kwara lat ka je ba lokirmi yadi da and when mo chetika mart one ki malati chalat 2015 peace agreement chajalat ja 2018 peace agreement chajalat ja 2022 security arrangement chajalat kana maltu ngon ko ken cha nyogolan amen mi shabe jegan wala cha daga ma char cha jale ni yen gwan mi mo chikaru den langat kan kwa dangro gwadan yen kanten kir mi yadi cha daga ma char cha jangat logo jeno de daga ma cha da ro da chung ko gwe jeno jen ba pan kan national election ke kuin kwarmun balat so je take competition ka kui power kana competition ka kui ko anga mu de wi watch ka kui listen kon intere gwach so da tigan di algadi sha wich cha je yar ko lo kwarno ba man gwani jen bajalat win mona do dien bel kan selpa ke ma yadi no selpa ke ran mu chamal che de gor ke ja ko tai lok reng ma chare je na malalat ke ko en kwalat ke akire no a cha je len mishir kana mon jina berpinda be de sai changa dana ba ko en kwar bailat ke je bana me cha je no gonetin kontinere ke South Sudan baraina am rekone che wicha tianka jek tiji tiang tin kana kantine wicha tianka intercommunal fight alo nyin dor kana doro alo che tel gwami mo me manarin keje che tika kettle raiding gwami my cockten ka cha de longa makapa ka chong so yete koron wani are lat anyok che tika slow implementation of peace agreement mal cha de tanka gwaste himwan wukana jek rewika South Sudan ko chikir mi yadi che goro te kamal medeben so na me amule rode rewik ka South Sudan so mal babenede baben gwami mo wa to wajelat gwami mo na wukan chonkel mal babenede mal baben gwas dana china tigelet ke gwas dana chi kir cheno gono ba national election ba jelat keje gwas dana cheno gono bi South Sudanese biken kwarkin biken ka kwany tela mal me baben mu kan mishi self came yadi che goro ba national election ba jelat keje rewik ka South Sudan mal baben gwada dana chana che ka par so kor me lero de me rewi ka South Sudan che dung jane ka che dung ware loko wo ba kwar ba ka kwany ne me ejen do ba dan en to kor keje ikon diala ngaje no ne en wo ba kor ba je kapchong gor lan ne diala gor nwari gor jang eni ba de miten wena mo gor jeno de let ka kwi malka mishit kana me ejen dan lero de kwa dangro en wo biken kwar biken jek bala decision dung citizen ni netin konin tere which ka South Sudan tin kwala rwaj akan kwadangaro ban mi shaje binoga ken tele gwade mo mi bi malbe ben kaje so na me ajen ta dan le rode je kajen dan de konling gone jen wo ban mal ban je lat kel duno ta ti dakring ma char kaje reite jen chamal cheje binong mal be ben unless cha dakring ma char chajalun kajen dan shalka be South Sudan ni sne diala no kirma yadit alun Dr. Machar ko chiwicha below taga dek bina chiwika national election and ballot ke 2026 ko ko inquire ya tagalong ko ballot ke 2026 ka kujamo de kirma yadi dere Dr. Machar dere jelun ka de malamo de jel realika de campaign de jetuk ka de voter de ka register ka de dial de realika ko de mal dere ben dindo mongode ganka Dr. Machar ganka je reiti jen chala no telemal mi buro da lat ke telemal mi bibin rewi ka South Sudan enimi chikir mi yadi chala no mala to wanamo jen do budana kwa kim yadi kwa lim ke je international community en wojin luin Dr. Machar jang ne je ko biya mal biya jalat biya nyu gwa kel biya do budana South Sudan ro nyam ke je biya shuguch jen dan de calling ne me ka Changfied YouTube channel mi jira mi jidit gwasme gorno jin bi subscribe ko bi notification bell bi jetwany ko mi chateg mi bare gwasme ba chwa mala be kaji ka gwada dana payla re keje ka Changfied YouTube channel ajen gwada dan bi yen lere tulot kanija keten ta ke meaning keten content cha verified bien Carlington ko ngai kon diala no tin diala lat ko rodien o ba tok ba jalat Ramadan bela kejen gwasme e kirmi yadit ko de malder bere ko South Sudan ko liader ngok no nyandana bane link de kon chongen gwasme bete mal